the modern-day Niger Delta armed struggle, where the Ijaw ethnic nationality in the area affirmed that all land and natural resources, including mineral resources within its territory, belong to the Ijaw communities and are the basis of their survival. Consequently, all companies were asked to stop all oil exploration and exploitation activities in the Ijaw area, paving the way for the agitation for resource control, as well as the beginning of attacks on oil installations, economic sabotage, loss of lives and property, as well as the kidnappings of expatriates who work in the multinational oil companies who failed to leave the Ijaw land as earlier warned by the leaders of the militant groups.
And now we get all white, now they use all and we will go with the suffer. Because of all those things, man vest and carry gun.
The fallout of this was a significant reduction in the crude oil production capacity, coupled with a cloud of insecurity in the Niger Delta, leading to a stagnation of the nation's economy. Such was the scenario inherited by the late President Umar Musa Yar'Adua when he assumed office as President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces in 2007.
Nigeria's oil production and peace in the Niger Delta and development efforts in the Niger Delta are sorted out and solved within the shortest possible time.
President Yar'Adua opted for a policy of peace building through pardon to the Niger Delta militants as a strategy of holding the nation together. The amnesty program was adopted as a panacea to facilitate the disarmament of the region and reduce the proliferation of light weapons in order to pave the way for rehabilitation and reconciliation. It was also to aid human resources and infrastructural development of the Niger Delta. Thus, a presidential amnesty committee headed by General Godwin Abbey was set up to midwife the program by the government of Yar'Adua. Under the program, known heads or warlords of the militant groups and their members were engaged not only as direct beneficiaries, but also as drivers of the process by ensuring that as many of their men who were interested in accepting the olive branch offered by the government through the amnesty program were covered. The Goodluck Jonathan administration that succeeded the Yar'Adua government following President Yar'Adua's demise also adopted the template established by his predecessor, the late president, to drive and sustain the program.
To me, I felt that anybody that is involved in killing one another because he wants to agitate for peace should be treated as a terrorist. So from onset, I've been saying I'm not part of amnesty and I will not support amnesty because that shows that we are encouraging illegality. They should scrap amnesty and that money should be channeled properly into the development infrastructures in our area.
However, power is due to change hands from the People's Democratic Party-led government to that of the All Progressives Congress to be headed by General Muhammadu Buhari come May 29, 2015. It is not clear whether the Buhari administration will be favorably disposed to continue with the amnesty program.
We will join those that are calling on Mr. President not to cancel the amnesty program, not to cancel the Niger Delta Ministry, and not to reduce the derivation formula as it stands now. Because those three programs, as I have mentioned now, the recommendation of the confab was that they should increase the percentage of derivation, they should sustain the amnesty program, and they should also sustain the Ministry of Niger Delta, which collectively will take care of the golden egg, of the goals that is laying the golden egg as far as Nigeria is concerned.
The amnesty program to a large extent has endured as a necessary means to an end. The ex-militants of recent have shown that it is their hope that the incoming administration continues with the program as a sure way of ensuring a symbiotic relationship between the federal government and the oil-producing communities of the Niger Delta.
Well, a compilation, a documentary on the issues of the Niger Delta and the amnesty program. As the question goes, will it be sustained by the incoming government, or, as that activist said, would it be suspended? Well, let's see. We'll hope we'll shed more light on that with Mr. Clark. But the footage you're seeing now is live footage from the Eagle Square, where preparations are ongoing for the inauguration tomorrow. Our crew is on ground, setups going on, the building and construction of different facilities are going on, and at the end of the day, all for a beautiful inauguration come May the 29th. We'll hope to hook up with our team there. But Mr. Clark, we'll go back to the Eagle Square to talk about preparations, but just tell us, from that documentary, we had different issues raised there. One of the issues that was raised had to do with the militancy situation. Now, when we were talking, you talked about the pipeline vandalism. Would you say that it has reduced in any way? Because it looks as if that it has increased, even with the amnesty program.
Well, let us be honest with ourselves. There is nothing wrong in government expending money, training and retraining militants, in quote.
And some of them have gotten good training so far.
But you cannot train all the so-called militants. Maybe you are only training about 5 or 10%. So you still have 90% who are not being trained and who are not being catered for by any system of government allowances. Therefore, this militancy, which I feel is also, joined in the bottom with bunkering. We don't have to run away from that fact that what is going on today outside the militancy in the Delta is illegal bunkering. That is a fact we Nigerians must accept. And the government knows it. International, oil producers know that about 600,000 barrels a day of Nigerian oil is being illicitly, siphoned and sold into the international market.
Let me just interject. My apologies. That brings me to the question that we're already looking at what the incoming administration will be facing. Do you feel that corruption, as General Buhari has said, is the biggest concern that he should be looking at now? Or should it be something as security, perhaps?
Let's look at the Delta first. The problem in the Delta is not corruption by the common man. The corruption is with the elites. If you know how much the governors of Bayelsa State, Akwa and Ibom, have taken not only from the allocation, from ecological funds, from the excess crude funds that have been given to them. None of them today can tell you what they have used it for. And the people are seeing it. And they know. If you think they don't know, you are the fool. They know. So they go on bunkering, whether you call it militancy. So bunkering is the problem in the Delta today. It's not the militancy. If you can stop bunkering, then you are bringing some sanity. Then you'll be able to train.
But some effort was actually made at stopping bunkering. It was more like set a thief to catch a thief. So there was this loose arrangement with some of these ex-militants to provide security for the oil and gas pipelines in the Niger Delta so they could know how to trace their cronies. And then, well, somehow that doesn't seem to be working.
You see, the Yorubas have a proverb. I learned the Yoruba language. I'm not a Yoruba man. He said, Olegbe, Olegba. Do you know what it means? The thief steals, another thief takes it off from him. You see what I mean? The problem there is that you are asking a thief to come and watch over another thief. How do you get results? The leaders that you have given contracts to overlook the pipelines were the head of the militants before. So how can